In certain situations, one is granted the ability to go back in history. You can undo your mistakes, and sometimes you realize it wasn't a mistake after all, so you redo it. Then you make a bunch more mistakes, undoing, redoing. After a while, you want to go back again, undo, undo, undo. But along the way, you lose parts that you still kind of liked, and now there's no way to get back. You're lost, and time no longer seems to exist. It all starts to feel like one big mistake. Is this what going back in time is supposed to be like? Enter version control. You may have basic undo-redo features, which, as you know quite well, are limited. Version control brings undo-redo to entirely new levels. As you rename, add, delete, or move stuff around, a complete history of all of these changes becomes available. But as you probably guessed, this doesn't all just happen. You need to create this history. And there are steps. It'll seem complicated. There are many different kinds of version control. But it's not that bad, and it works well with most collections of digital information, usually taking form as a mess of folders, and then files or more folders somewhere in between. I'm going to use a version control system known as Git. Git is free, open source, and very popular. By the way, all of this will go down in the command line because it's the only place where you can run all the Git commands. Any graphic interface will give you slightly less control. We start by connecting the local files on our desktop to a remote server online. First, make sure you have Git installed on your computer. Check with this command. Chances are, if you have a Mac, you probably have Xcode and it will already be installed through the command line tools. If it's unclear or you don't have a Mac, download an installer online. Time to target the place we're going to be working in with git init. This adds a hidden subdirectory that looks like this and acts as the head. This is what you'll link the online server to. For the next command, you'll need to set up the online server. GitHub is, again, really popular and a really good place to start. On GitHub, these servers are also known as repositories. Now we link. This command does just that. Now check your remote server and see what's inside. Nothing yet. Also a reminder that for the most part, whatever files you put on the free GitHub servers will be downloadable, therefore public. Now we're all set up to make some changes. You can break down the process like this. You have your working directory, which is where you edit all of your local files. You've been here the whole time. Git adds the two other parts, the index and the head. Let's go back to our working directory and make a copy of our initial files to start using the git add command. Use the period to add everything, or a specific file name for a quicker change. This makes a copy of the files which goes into a staging area, the index. We then move this stuff in the head using this command, git commit. Then put some notes in quotes explaining what you changed. Make your notes meaningful, or at least detailed. You can also add notes using a text editor like Vim. To get there, simply put git commit. Once you commit, however you choose to do, these changes are now moved into the head. You might be thinking, what is the point of the index? It seems like you're just pushing the files along to the next step with nothing else really happening. In this case, yes, but it can be useful to still keep track of new changes without having to move them to the head each time. Also know that you can stage without committing, but you can't commit without staging.